Today, your angel has something very special to tell you, something that you may have already felt but haven't fully understood yet. There's a person who you can't get out of your mind, and this person, from all indications, carries many secrets within themselves. And these secrets, well, they make you uneasy. You wonder if these mysteries have to do with you, with the connection you have, or had, or if they are part of this person's personal story, something they are living or facing on their own. But if we're honest, from the way this person responds to you, or rather doesn't respond, it's hard not to think that these secrets are somehow linked to you. It seems there's something there, a question mark between you two, and there's no denying that it weighs on you, makes you think, makes you feel. Maybe that's why you haven't been talking much lately. That strange, almost palpable distance that has settled between the two of you. Maybe you've tried to decipher these signs, read between the lines, understand the silences, the looks. That message that never came, the invitation that wasn't made, the word that hung in the air. Could this person be hiding something that has to do with you? Do they not know how to deal with their own feelings? Or perhaps they are going through something so complex that they haven't yet found the right way to share it. You're probably wondering what is really happening in this connection. Maybe there was an exchange of messages or a conversation that changed everything. Suddenly, you noticed that her behavior changed. It seems like there are a lot of things this person wants to tell you, but something is holding her back. Before everything cooled down between you two, there were very specific moments that caught your attention. You noticed that this person withdrew from some topics, that her energy changed completely when certain subjects came up. Maybe there were conversations where the mood got more serious, and for a moment, it seemed like she was going to open up, but in the end, she held back. And you keep wondering why that was happening. Why didn't she just say what was on her mind? It could be that this distance that has grown between you two happened gradually. Perhaps you noticed this distancing, and at some point, you decided to stop looking, to stop insisting. But deep down, you feel that this person took the first step in this distancing, even if indirectly. You know all of this didn't happen out of nowhere. There was something that led to this point. Now that you are more distant, you can see everything more clearly. You might even remember exactly the moment when things changed between you two. But still, it seems like your story remains unfinished. Even with all this distance, you feel there is something unresolved. This sense of uncertainty, of unanswered questions, is directly affecting how this person sees you, and even how she tries or avoids communicating with you today. You have a very clear notion of the phases a connection like this can go through. And you know better than anyone that separations happen for very specific reasons. It's this that is making you so curious, trying to understand what really caused this rupture. You are there, wondering if this distance, this gap in the connection between you two, is something you caused, or if it's simply the phase of life the other person is going through. Deep down, you feel that there are many things this person is not telling you. And in a way, it seems like they are trying to keep a part of themselves well isolated, protected, distant from you. And as strange as it may seem, you even understand this, in a kind of silent, intuitive way. Maybe you are at a point in your life where you feel more open to having these conversations, different from how it would have been before. Now, you feel that this situation is somewhat out of your control. There was a time when you were very close, perhaps even inseparable, and there was this openness, this exchange, a clear willingness to receive what the other had to offer. But now you find yourself wondering if you should try to break the silence, take that step to communicate, or just stand still, waiting for them to make the move to get close again. But deep down, you feel that something needs to be said, a conversation needs to happen. Something important is in the air, a confirmation from the universe about what this person did or did not do. And even if you do not fully understand the reason behind their actions, you can bet they know exactly why, even if they have difficulty putting it into words. But that's where things get interesting. Because every time they try to get close, it seems like the universe puts an obstacle in the way, an unexpected delay of sorts. And they are getting impatient, frustrated, because there is something very strong inside them that wishes to be with you, that yearns for this connection. But somehow, it seems like there is a resistance they cannot understand. As if there is an invisible force greater, that is testing the limits of this desire. The truth is that, when delays appear, when it seems like the universe is working against you, there is always a reason. It could be a message for you, it could be a lesson for her. Something that is being ignored, neglected, maybe even avoided. Because this person is divided, pulled in two directions. On one side, something inside her that cries out for you, that wants to be together, but on the other, a barrier that insists on rising, something that prevents her from taking the needed step. And you might be feeling this too. You might be noticing the signs, the patterns that repeat, the coincidences that seem more than mere coincidences. It might seem that, every time things start to move, something appears to delay, to interrupt, to mess with the natural flow of this connection. As if there were an interference, a greater force testing, shaping, preparing something that is not yet clear. Maybe you are wondering now, why does this connection seem so distant, so out of reach? It seems that something is unfolding in a way that you don't completely understand. The feeling of delay, that something is not flowing as it should, starts to weigh. And this could even increase the frustration because, honestly, you look around and see that no one else seems to be going through this. This creates restlessness, a concern about what might come next. And even though you know deep down that you were the one who took the first step, now it seems that things have taken a turn you did not expect. And this change, this twist, brings a feeling of loss, as if something is out of your control, a sense that something important has been set in motion, something bigger than you. It seems like the universe has put you in a position where you need to let go of the reins, but your heart insists on wanting to understand why. Maybe you even wish to go back to change the course, but now there's no way to escape. You have to see this through to the end, which makes the discomfort grow with each passing day. At this moment, the truth is there's a reason for you to be where you are, even though that reason is still obscured. And it's not just the why, but also the when that seems to matter. There is a determined time for this. And in the meantime, communication between you two may have been cut off or reduced. And you feel that, despite everything, you are still connected in some way. It's as if both of you are on the same frequency, waiting, reflecting, trying to understand the right moment to break the silence, to start talking again. There is a strange synchronicity, an invisible alignment that, at the same time, unites and separates. Both silently wonder if now is the right moment, or if it's still necessary to wait. This person feels, deep down, that they are out of place, as if something is not right on the path they are treading. And if this message resonates with you, if in some way all of this makes sense, then it's because your connection is about to face unexpected twists. Things around are moving fast, in ways that seem out of control, because what this person is doing, the choices they are making, are directly affecting everything around. And it's not just the present that is being influenced, but the future as well. There is an external force at play, something that seems to interfere with all of this. If you ever felt that there was a strange energy, as if something from the outside was interfering, it's because there actually is. And maybe this is not a surprise to you. It could be that you already knew this in some way, or that this is the confirmation you were waiting for. This energy, complicated and full of nuances, seems chaotic, as if it is always in motion, but it is not exactly a malicious force, despite causing effects that can be unsettling. Maybe you haven't realized it yet, but this person is being bombarded with numerous options, choices that appear from all sides. The curious thing is that she doesn't want any of these options. She is in a position where distrust grows, suspecting the intentions around her, of everything and everyone. She seems confused because, in a way, this distrust has to do with how easily these things arise. What is bothering her so much in the midst of all this is the fact that, even from a distance, you continue to stand out. And this feeling leaves her curious, very curious, but also strangely confident. Maybe you think that this curiosity would make her approach what is easier or immediate, the options that are right in front of her now. But what is happening is the opposite. Instead of following the more accessible path, she feels more attracted to you. She feels that she needs your energy, that she needs something deeper and more genuine than these options that seem so simple. She feels, deep down, that she is in the wrong place. That somehow, she made the wrong choice. The only reason you haven't heard anything from her yet is because she doesn't know how to put into words what she is feeling. She is experiencing other situations. She is trying to connect with other realities. But even so, your presence is like a beacon in her mind. It's as if, suddenly, everything became clearer. Maybe she was lost. Maybe she didn't know exactly what she wanted. But now that has changed. Now she knows. And this is where your angels come in. They are bringing this message to you because, in some way, you need to know. Because maybe you are wondering, maybe you are even worried, trying to understand why there is always this resistance between you two. But know that this is not a bad thing. This connection that you have is intense, it is true. And it is precisely because it is so strong that it is being influenced by the energies of the universe. All of this is happening for a reason that may not yet be clear, but is about to be revealed. What is happening here is that the person is going through a very intimate and profound process of discovery. She began to realize that what is around her no longer satisfies her, no longer fulfills her, and in some way, she is feeling an inexplicable lack. This lack is not about someone specific or an exact moment, but rather about a feeling, an energy, a vibration that she only found in your presence. She is in a phase of transition, a turning point in her journey, where she begins to understand that life offers her exactly what she attracts to herself. And it seems that lately, what she encounters is a kind of reflection of what she no longer wants. People who don't spark her interest, situations that seem empty, meetings that lack soul. And she wonders why all of this is happening. Perhaps in the past, she would have accepted it, maybe even been content with these situations. But now, something inside her refuses. Something inside her wants more. She feels that all of this has to do with the moment she chose to distance herself from you. It wasn't just any decision, it was a watershed moment. Since then, it seems that every person who appears in her life is a test, an unconscious comparison, a way of measuring what is real and what isn't. She is constantly comparing the energy, the vibration, the feeling she had in your presence with what she feels now. And things simply don't fit. It's not that she's consciously thinking about you all the time, but your energy, your essence is still there, in the back of her mind like a guiding beacon. The environment around her is heavy, full of noises that don't connect with what she is truly seeking. People around her seem to be trapped in their own confusions, their own denser vibrations. And this makes her feel increasingly distant from this world she is living in, as if she no longer belongs to it. As if she is living in a parallel universe, where everything seems out of place. And that's why she keeps searching. Because somewhere inside, she knows you represent something she values, something that goes beyond appearances, beyond superficialities. She realizes that by distancing herself from you, she initiated a process of self-reflection, of awakening. And now she finds herself needing to understand what she truly wants, who she really is, and more importantly, the type of energy she wants to attract into her life. She is afraid of being stuck with something that doesn't match what she feels inside, afraid of losing the chance to explore all her facets, all the aspects of herself that she discovered or rediscovered by being with you. So even if she's not aware, she keeps looking for you because you represent a truth, a clarity that she misses. Deep down, she knows something needs to change. And perhaps she is waiting for a sign, something that confirms that the path she is choosing is the right one. She wants to feel alive again, vibrant, connected with someone who truly understands her. And somehow, it seems that this always leads back to you. This is something truly fascinating because, on a deeper level, there are things in life that only reveal themselves when you connect with your true love, even if distance is an obstacle. There is an energetic connection that goes beyond the physical, something that vibrates in the invisible, but is so essential. Now, the energy that this person feels, as close as she is to you, seems to create some kind of block, as if there's something preventing her from coming to you completely, and this in some way also hinders her own path. Perhaps you are experiencing a period full of spiritual understandings, a phase of revelations that challenge your beliefs, shaking what you thought was true. And this person, somehow, feels that they reflect a bit of you. It's as if they see parts of themselves in you. There is a certain energy of yours, extremely powerful, that seems to be touching their life in an unexpected way. You may have gone some time without speaking to each other, but even so, your presence continues to pulse there, influencing, manifesting in ways you can't even imagine. It is a direct connection but at the same time, full of nuances, parallel paths that end up crossing at key points. If this person were truly sincere, perhaps they would confess that they haven't always seen themselves reflected in you. When they are in your presence, or when your eyes meet, you represent everything they were taught to hide about themselves. This connection between you two is like a direct confrontation with the feelings and thoughts they have always tried to keep at a distance. It is uncomfortable, it can even be challenging, because suddenly, the universe decided to place a mirror right in front of them, reflecting every hidden corner of their soul. And now they are being forced to face all of this head-on, to look deeper into where they have been investing their energy and focus. And honestly, they do not like what they see. It seems that the decision they made, perhaps without thinking much about the consequences, ended up triggering a chain reaction, a series of events that are changing the way you see this person and how they see themselves too. They are noticing something in you that makes them question, that makes them want to understand better what is happening inside them. That's why they are trying to get closer, seeking contact, wanting to understand what this sudden restlessness is. She feels uncomfortable because what is being reflected back to her is a version of herself that she does not recognize or does not want to accept. And this leaves her agitated, impulsive, as if something needs to be resolved immediately. And the reason she is approaching you now is precisely that, You represent a key, a turning point, an opportunity to understand something much bigger than anything she had imagined. Maybe she will never say this out loud, maybe she doesn't even have the right words to express it, but when she is near you, she feels something different, as if she sees a reflection of God in your eyes, something that makes her want to be more than she has been. And that, in itself, is already a powerful force. She probably can't explain what it is to be in your presence, but she knows it's something that makes her want to look inside, question herself, and somehow transform. This person. She sees you in a way that goes beyond the ordinary, the trivial. It's not just because of what you do or say, but because of how your presence touches her heart, how you seem to understand even the whispers she doesn't say out loud. And maybe you haven't revealed much about your own pains or your past, but even so, she feels this connection, this purity that emanates from you. Something so true it's hard to ignore, a bond she has never experienced with anyone else. And it makes her think, reflect on what she really feels. This person realizes that you are different, unique. Not like the others she has known. You brought a new light into her life, an energy so intense that it took her by surprise. For a long time, she felt confused, she didn't see herself in you, didn't understand your way of being, this clarity you have. And because of that, many conflicts were born within her, feelings that ended up affecting the way you connected. It was as if something inside her resisted, tried to push away the light you carried. But now that distance has come between you, everything has changed. The space between you two seems to have intensified your presence in her mind. She is constantly thinking about you, revisiting every conversation, every look, every gesture. And suddenly, she realizes that by getting close to you, she was closer to her own essence, to her own truth. It's as if God placed you in her path to show her something deeper, more meaningful. And now, with this feeling that she reflects a piece of who you are, there seems to be an internal struggle. She tries, perhaps even desperately, to convince herself that you two are not that similar, that this connection is just a coincidence. But the truth is she feels your energy, feels that there is something more happening. And because of this, there may be times when she tries to hide, not to show what she really feels, what she really thinks. You notice this, don't you? You think she is keeping something, that there is a shadow of a secret between you. And the fact that there is this distance between you now only intensifies these feelings, as if each silence, each pause, carries 1,000 unspoken words. This person is someone who has played a massive role in your life, a person whose actions have shaped everything between you, decided to distance herself. It is as if, by doing so, she is sending a clear message to God, a message that speaks about you, about what you share, but above all about herself. This separation carries a very profound spiritual depth. It seems like a reflection, a mirror showing you what you need to see, whether you are ready for it or not. Now, she is going through a moment where she is being confronted with things she doesn't like or agree with. These experiences are like direct messages from her higher self, trying to show her something important, one way or another. That's why she finds herself in an internal conflict, trying to understand what's going on. She feels that everything around her is a reflection of you, but at the same time, she tries to distance herself from it, almost as if she is rejecting everything that is shown in her path now. People, places, situations. What is being revealed to her at this moment is a direct consequence of her own actions. And for her, it doesn't correspond to what she felt when she was with you, to what she felt in your presence or in the energy you shared. This is something she feels the need to tell you. Recently, something has been repeating in her mind, like an insistent echo, "You were sent to me." This phrase resonates as proof, a confirmation that when it comes to connections of this kind, there is a greater meaning, something that is not chosen by chance. In her head, it stands out as a divine choice, a destined encounter, which she may still be trying to understand, but already knows is too important to be ignored. She feels that something has changed, as if a new door has opened without her even realizing it. It wasn't a deliberate choice, you know? You just appeared. She wasn't actively seeking, wasn't looking for a specific connection, but there you were. And with each passing day, she realizes that it is different, that there is an attraction that cannot be explained merely by the obvious, by what is seen at first glance. Before meeting you, she always had control. She chose the paths, the people, always guided by criteria she herself defined, perhaps by a mental checklist of requirements she believed were essential. Whether it was appearance, common interests, or hobbies, everything seemed to be a logical and predictable equation. But with you, the logic is lost. The predictability disappears. It seems like you arrived and messed up all the plans. And now she wonders, why you? Why now? Was it God, in his infinite wisdom, who placed you in her path? Because, honestly, it feels like you were sent by something greater, something beyond her understanding at this moment. There's something about you that she hasn't been able to fully decipher yet. There's an energy, a presence, that she's still trying to understand, trying to fully access. She feels she is facing something she has never experienced before. It's as if all the pieces are finally falling into place, and this sensation is new, it's intense. Different from everything she has ever lived through. It's a connection that seems to transcend the simple, the ordinary, what can be explained with words. There's a depth, a complexity that is simultaneously terrifying and irresistible. She feels that somehow, you are different from all the other people she has ever met. There's something in the way you connect, something that goes beyond what the eyes can see or what the mind can comprehend. It's almost as if there is a greater purpose behind all this, something she cannot yet see clearly but feels intensely, pulsatingly. What is happening here is much deeper than mere pattern recognition. She began to notice that all of her choices, especially in love, have a common root, a thread that connects them, which she could not clearly see until now. It's as if suddenly, a light turned on in her mind, revealing what had always been there but she simply couldn't see, the real reason behind the internal suffering that tormented her. And deep down, that reason is that she was looking for something outside of herself to fill a void that only she could fill. It doesn't matter whether she was aware of this or not, but it is becoming increasingly evident that the right person was always destined to cross her path. And when you appeared, it was as if the universe had finally revealed its plan, a connection so intense that it was impossible to ignore. But even so, she hesitated. Why? Because there was something inside her that was still pending, something from a recent past from which she had not yet completely freed herself. And then comes the clarity. God sent you to help her break free from that past that no longer made sense. You appeared as a sign, as a direct response to what she needed to hear, even if she didn't know it at that moment. But by questioning this gift, she ended up postponing the natural flow of things, delaying the course of the connection that should have followed, the journey she should have lived, the mission that was before her. And that is exactly why she feels so restless, because once we experience something as pure and true as divine love, nothing else seems sufficient. The discomfort of going back to a point where she has already been is almost unbearable. And this connection between you two doesn't just make that evident, it also shows that running away from herself is an impossible mission. Each path she tries to take leads to a new version of who she is, a reflection of what she is trying to avoid. This is wearing her out, irritating her, but above all, it is showing exactly what she needs to face in her own journey. All of this is happening for a greater purpose, to make her awaken, to provoke a realignment with who she truly is, in her deepest essence. Only then will she be able to find her way back to you, but not in a superficial way, rather on a level that goes beyond the physical, that touches the spiritual and the emotional. A reconnection that only happens when both are aligned with their inner truths. The truth is that this person carries an enormous weight, a weight of mistakes she feels she has made, and this torments her. Yes, that's the feeling vibrating in the air, a kind of suffocated confession, as if something were stuck in the throat, waiting to be released. What motivates this energy is a genuine feeling that something is blocking her, preventing her from reaching her full potential, from connecting with her own essence, until this issue is faced head-on. And what really stops her is the fear of finding the right words, of discovering how to open her heart and express what she feels to you. And this is, without a doubt, a moment filled with conflicting emotions for her. On one hand, there is a certain joy, a gentle relief from having reached this clarity, from awakening to certain truths, from finally understanding how what she feels inside manifests in her actions and reactions daily. But, at the same time, there is a deep pain. Because it is complicated to know that there is such an intense, rare connection, and at the same time, not knowing what to do with it, having no idea what the next step will be. The distance that exists between you, whether physical or emotional, weighs more than anything. It is as if the lack of access to you, in the way she truly desires, is a constant needle in her chest, a reminder of something that is still missing. And it is there that the difficult truth lies. This person, even if she hasn't verbalized it, sees you as an equal, a reflection of her own soul. There is a deep respect, a recognition that you have something rare, something that is not easy to find. Earning that respect, especially from a love that touches the level of the soul, is no small thing. It requires a unique energy, a genuine connection that few understand. Deep down, she wants to act, wants to take a step towards you, but has no idea how to reach you now. It's as if everything is suspended, in a moment full of meanings, full of hopes and uncertainties. She feels the need to move, but also feels afraid of making mistakes again, afraid of not being able to express herself in the way you deserve to hear. And in this impasse, she remains, trying to find the courage to bridge the distance and finally, say what is trapped in her heart. At some point, things used to flow with an almost magical ease. Perhaps if they wanted, they could simply pick up where they left off, effortlessly, as if nothing had changed. But now it seems like the universe has hit pause, a moment of reflection. And this is felt on both sides. For you, there's a sense that something is out of place, that the energy has changed. And for her, it seems like there is a deep desire to understand what you want from her now, in this new phase of your connection. She is someone who always believed she had unrestricted access to you, like the door was always open. But lately, she is feeling a different resistance, an awakening to the reality of the energy between the two of you. She is starting to realize that she can no longer just come and go from your life as she pleases. And this makes her reflect on how she acted before, when she felt like she had all the access in the world to you. Your aura, your energy, is sending very clear signals. Somehow, it seems like you are saying no through the way you present yourself outwardly. And this makes her question whether this barrier she feels is something permanent or just a temporary defense. She wonders if she can still find a way to your heart if there is still a chance to enter your emotional space. On your side, it's a stance of protection. You are intentional with your energy, with whom you allow to come close. Maybe you understand that this person is going through a time of growth, a kind of spiritual learning. And as she continues on this journey, you know there are things she needs to face alone. Things that she will only be able to understand and resolve in her own company, especially when new energies are being activated or integrated for her own good. At the same time, there is a part of you that remains open. It's not that you have closed all the doors, you are just taking care of yourself, allocating your time wisely, and practicing patience. You are allowing the energy between you to reorganize and balance in a way that is healthy for both of you. Meanwhile, you keep steady, letting the universe take care of the rest. There is something profoundly powerful in divine energy. Your connection with it can be significantly impacted, and this influence can transform your life in unexpected ways. This person, in particular, will experience a series of spontaneous awakenings. Although these awakenings are incredibly positive, they also bring a certain fear, as they start to realize that the life they were living until now was very far from their true essence. With this, many contracts and commitments that no longer serve their purpose will be ended this year. If you have felt the changes in energy over the past few years, you have certainly noticed many separations, especially in relationships, as people seek to reconnect with God. However, this energy is about to intensify even more. If you have been chosen or find yourself on a specific spiritual journey, this energy is inevitable and transformative. At this moment, this person is being deeply impacted, feeling a fast and powerful energy in motion. Changes will occur on a larger scale as we approach the end of a cycle. Everything inauthentic, everything not aligned with the higher aspects of the soul, will be quickly discarded. The way this energy manifests depends on where each person is on their personal journeys, but its presence will be undeniable. This person is being called to look within, to listen to what the heart has to say. Perhaps they are already open to this, ready to receive this message, or maybe they need more time, more learning, to reach the truth they so diligently seek. What is clear is that this message is a powerful invitation to get closer to one's own essence, to understand how universal energy is stirring their emotions, wherever they may be. We are talking about something profound, a kind of internal call that is impossible to ignore for long. When something is not meant for you, this truth screams within, and you can't pretend you don't feel it. You can choose to face this reality or continue deceiving yourself, but the energy being stirred within this person is so strong that action needs to be taken. It can no longer be postponed. Many unexpected things can arise from this process. The truth may manifest in unexpected ways, whether through a direct confession from a loved one or through a divine sign, something sent by God. The secrets, those that have been holding back both destinies, will no longer remain hidden. They need to come to light because the time for growth and transformation has arrived, and this year is especially crucial for this journey. If this message resonated with you, if it touched the depths of your heart and made sense for your situation, leave a sign. Write in the comments, "This is true love." In doing so, you not only reaffirm what you feel, but also connect even more with this energy that is moving everything around you. It is a way of opening yourself up to what the universe has in store for you, without fear, without reservations. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, Subscribe now and don't miss the opportunity to hear the next special message from your angel. Until then, stay with God.